Welcome to BirdTalk. This talk is sponsored by the International Fellowship of Birdwatching Rotarians, IFBR for short, which is an international association of Rotary members who enjoy birding. It was founded in 1992. If you are interested in previous talks in the series, please check the links to videos of this session that are posted online. You'll find the links on our website at ifbr.org. In this talk, you will hear about a recent trip organized by IFBR, where several members visited various locations in the foothill of the eastern Himalayas in India. This talk will be presented by Eva Nordwall. Eva is a member of the Stockholm Sergel Rotary Club, Stockholm, Sweden. She is past president, Paul Harris Fellow, has served in several club committees, and as District International Service Chair. Her classification is International Development Counseling. A lifelong bird enthusiast, Eva joined the International Fellowship of Birdwatching Rotarians at the 2015 Rotary International Convention in Sao Paulo. She has since enjoyed unforgettable field trips in Seoul, Atlanta, Hamburg, and Melbourne. Combining her love for travel and birding, Eva explores the world with fellow Rotarians, spotting rare species in breathtaking locations. Some logistics for the talk today. This presentation is being recorded. It will be shared online along with several past presentations. I request that you mute your microphones. Questions are welcome. You may ask questions online in the chat session or by unmuting your microphone. We will have some time for question and answers at the end of the talk. With that introduction, I will hand you over to Eva for the presentation.
Most welcome to this presentation, which is from our very interesting and beautiful trip we had in Northeast India this January. It was arranged by Avanti Holiday and on recommendation from our member Madhu and Gitanjali Dar, and we had a wonderful guide and very knowledgeable in Dr. Niluptal Mahanta. We saw or spotted 201 species. And of course, we can't see all these today, but we will look at some of them that we could see from the different days. This is where we met in Guwahati in the state Assam in India on the 13th of January. So you can see it's very northeast of India, a part that you might not even know about. It's north of Bangladesh and south of Bhutan and Tibet. So these are the participants, and we met in the evening or during the day in Guwahati, and you can see here Julie, and then Krishna, and our guide Neil, and the representative of Avanti Holidays, Gita, and myself and Björn, and Dr. Vijaya. So these are the participants. Okay. We went to, in the evening, to Namere, and after breakfast the next day, we went out for rafting and easy birding. Okay. And we were on this river, and some birds were quite far away, but we did spot many, and we saw two kinds of kingfishers. The white-throated kingfisher, which is a tree kingfisher, and the pied kingfisher, which is a water kingfisher. And the water kingfisher only eats fish, and the other one also insects and so on. I just have, as being a Swede, I have to emphasize that this pied kingfisher was originally described by our Swedish scientist Carl Linnaeus in 1758, so it's quite a long time ago. We did see the common mergancy, which we have seen in many places, and also the ruddy shelduck. That I can mention we can also see in south of Spain. Okay. common myna, native to Asia. We saw many of those. And the Indian roller, also widespread in this area. And the large-billed crow, it really had a large bill, and that we could see quite close. So you can see it here. Okay. And then there was this Siberian stonechat, and that is also quite a widespread bird. And we could see the little egret, and that little egret is easy to recognize is if you see the feet. They are yellow, and the legs are black, and the bill is black, but the feet are very yellow, so it's easy to recognize this one. Okay. This is a small prating coal, and that one I had really never seen. It's a wader. It was very difficult to see, as you can see here. It's so camouflaged. So you think it's a stone, but all of a sudden the stones start to move, and then you can see that something is happening. And it favors then rocky and sandy islands in rivers. So we saw quite many. They were in flocks. We saw this moving, and they looked like swallows or maybe even bats when they were moving and flying. So it was nice to see it, because I don't think I had ever recognized it or seen it because of the rocks. Okay. Can move. Here is the rufous tree pie, and you can see it's just trying to hide, but it is native to the Indian subcontinent, and it's more or less like a magpie. It has a very long tail, but you can't see that here because there are lots of leaves just in front. But it's quite beautiful, and it is a colorful bird. It was nice to see. It's also a member of a crow family. Next picture. This is still on a river, but it's from, as many of these, from a large distance. And we did see the crested serpent eagle. Quite a large bird, heavily built, and it was from a distance here, but it were very nice. And we also saw the small one, the Asian green bee-eater to the left here. A little different from the bee-eaters we have in southern Europe. Okay. This one, we came a little closer, is the Plumbeous water redstart. This is a female. The male is blue. It's slate blue in color, so they are quite different, as many redstarts are, females and males. And it's a small one, about 14 centimeters and 20 grams. So it's a small bird resident. And the name is it resembles, the color is like lead. And you can, on the next picture, please, you can also see that we spotted this on our way further on up to Lama Camp. I think it's a very sweet little bird. This one was also trying to hide away. It's a white eye, and you really see the white eye here. And also very small bird. It's about 8-9 centimeters only, and it's yellowish and olive upper parts, and it has a yellow throat. But it's this yellow white eye, you can really see what it is. So after this rafting, we had lunch, and then we left the river and passed the border to Arunachal, Pradesh, and the land of a rising sun, it says here. And you can already see here the very nice nature landscapes that we passed by. Okay, we are now climbing up. And on the way to Dirang, we saw the black bulbul, or the Himalayan black bulbul. We saw this many times, and so it's quite frequent. It's a resident, and it has very nice color on the feet and the bill. They're orange-red. Okay. Here we see the golden throated barbet. It's a barbet native to Southeast Asia, and it lives between 900 and 2,700 meters, so it's quite high up then. Medium-sized, about 23 centimeters. Beautiful colors. You don't see it very clearly here because of the tree and long distance. And we have someone to the right, which I'm not sure to identify. It might be a drongo. This is a great yellow nape. It is a woodpecker, belong to the woodpecker family, quite small, 30 plus centimeters. And this is found up in the forest areas and on trunks and along branches. This is from far distance as well, but it is really very beautiful. Lovely colors. Okay. And here we have another one I couldn't really identify. So I call it a UFO because it's an unidentified flying object. Does anyone know what it could be? I first thought it was a white-browed shrike babbler, but maybe not. And we were quite tired here, but we had really seen many birds day 2, but the first day of bird watching. So we were quite happy to go to bed. And now it was cold, I could say. It was not very hot up here. It was like sort of a winter day, but no snow so far. Okay. Day 3, we were birding at Mandala when we were going up to Eagle Nest. And here we have a lunch break, and we have this little dog coming visiting us, and I think it got something for lunch too. And we could see this chestnut-bellied nuthatch, which is quite colorful nuthatch. And we can see in the next picture, we had some more pictures of this. Here it's flying and sitting beside the rhododendron trees. Beautiful nuthatch. And we could also see the other nuthatch. If you go further.
Sorry, that drongo that was several slides ago is probably a white-bellied drongo. I'm pretty sure I've seen those in Sri Lanka.
White-bellied drongo, yeah, that could make sense. Yeah, thank you. So good. I thought maybe a bronze drongo, but it's quite white on the belly. Yes, thank you. So, and I could see, I don't know if I mentioned, but if you have comments and if you want to correct and say this is wrong, please come on so we can discuss. This is a white-tailed nuthatch on a distance, from a distance. Quite beautiful too, I think. Next one. This little one, it's about a little more than 25 centimeters. So it is Asian barred owlet or a cuckoo owlet. And it belongs to the pygmy owls. So it's quite, for being a pygmy owl, it's probably quite big, but it was really a small one. And they live mostly on insects, but maybe some lizards and small rodents, but mostly insects. Okay. This greenback tit is very similar to the Parus major that we have in Europe, but this is more colorful. And it is a songbird of a foothill of a mountain forest up to 2,800 meters. So it's more or less the same, but still different. The brown shrike belongs to the shrike family, and the Latin name is telling what they're doing with their prey. They're slaughtering them, so they are called sometimes butcher birds. And this is the brown shrike, and it's about almost 20 centimeters. That's fine. The next slide we can see is there we have two kind of red spots, the durian and the white-capped redstart. And they are usually quite easily to recognize and to see what it is. Very active, and they usually have the tail going up and down. So, okay. Here we have two woodpecker. The one is the gray, the first one to the left is the gray-capped pygmy woodpecker. And that is a pygmy, it's about 14 centimeter. And it's, I think this is a male because it has a red spot on the head. And that is why I think it's a male. And then you had the crimson-naped woodpecker to the right. A little bigger than. Quite nice colors, both of them. Okay. Rufous-breasted accentor. This one is endemic to the Himalayas. And it's quite common in high altitude. And it also is, its natural habitat is the temperate forest. But this is also very camouflaged, so it's really difficult to see it. And you can easily pass by without seeing that it is a bird there. But this is the rufous-breasted accentor. Next. These we saw quite a lot of because they form flocks, and they came, lots of them together, and it's the Tibetan serene or siskin. And here I think we have both a female to the left and a male to the right. The female is not as colorful as the male. And they are around 12 centimeters, so they are quite small. But they came, and I think they were quite loudly as well, or you could hear them. This one is difficult to see here, but it's yellow-billed blue magpie. On the first picture, upper picture, you can really see a yellow bill, and it is taking off here on the second picture, where you also see the very long tail it has. And the tail is about 40, 50 centimeters, so that is a big part of this bird. Gold-billed magpie. This one was not hiding. His was really showing off. The great barbet. It's a resident in the Himalayas and northeast India and Bangladesh. And it's the largest of the barbets. It's 33 centimeters, so 30 plus centimeters. And it's up to 3,000 meters, so high in the altitude. So it was really a colorful, beautiful bird. And we can see it on the next picture as well from the back. You see on the lower, you see the back, how green it is, and it also is red under the tail. So it's really beautiful and big bird. And here we see the white-collared blackbird as well. So it's a blackbird with a distinct white color. Here we have the Bhutan laughing thrust. It is also a little difficult to see here among the leaves. but it is a laughing thrust about 20 centimeters. So we did see it, and it's brownish, only brownish colors. Black-tailed crake. I like the colors on this one. It's a slate gray with chestnut brown back. And then the eyes are red, which is on people not very beautiful, but on this bird, I think it is. And the legs are pink. And also the bill is greenish. So it's a beautiful bird. And it's belongs to a Rallidae family. Okay. Chestnut-bellied rock thrush. I am quite sure it is, but it was very difficult to identify this bird because it's so different from the male. And when you look at the chestnut-bellied rock thrush, you just find the male, and it's not so often they show the female, but I'm quite sure this is the female. And the male is much more beautiful, dark blue above and orange below. But this is quite nice, but it's not as colorful as the male is. A resident in Himalaya. Okay. This is, I found a very beautiful bird, but then when I read about it, it is then included in the list of the world's 100 worst invasive alien species. So it has been introduced to many, maybe because it's so beautiful, it's been introduced to many countries and where it should maybe not be. But it is anyhow a nice bird. Red-vented bulbul. Another very camouflaged bird was the ibisbill. It's related to the waders, but it has got its own family. And it's so camouflaged, so it's not easy to recognize and find. But with our good guide, we did find it. And the sexes are similar. And they have this beautiful beak, and it is grayish purple legs. So it was very, very interesting to see these ibisbill. We saw a few in some kind of a river up on the way to Eagernest. Okay. This one is a whiskered euhena. We saw quite many. They came in flocks, so it is regarded as social bird, and they come, few of them or many of them together. And you can see also this white, they belong to the white eye family. So you see the white eye here, which is very, very distinct. Below the small picture, I also show a gold crest. And it is this regulus that we have also in Europe. So it's the smallest bird we have in Sweden, but I think it has some, these birds in India here are quite as small. But this euhena is about 13 centimeters. We have a few more pictures of the euhena. If we go to the next slide. Here, can go back. You see it here. Quite a character, I think. Okay. And here is a tree creeper, a Hodgkin's tree creeper. Quite a small bird. It's also resident, and you can find it from the southern rim of the Himalayas. So I think we did see these only once. Okay. Gold-crested tit is also quite a character, and you find this from the Himalaya foothills to the southern central China. It's a resident, about 12 centimeters, more or less like the coal tit you see on the picture below. The Himalayan blue tail, also very nice colors, brightly blue and with blazing sapphire blue with orange on it. So this is quite a nice little bird. And this is the male. And the female is not as colorful as this one. It's about 15 centimeters, so it's not a very small bird. I think we can see it on the next picture as well, from below. Okay. So we went higher up, and then we could see this Himalayan buzzard. It's a medium large bird of prey, and sometimes considered a subspecies to our common buteo, the common buzzard. But this is native to Himalaya and in Nepal and India and some mountain areas. We came quite close. It came flying, and we could follow it, and then it settled down in this pine tree. So we came quite close in the end. So we reached this llama camp. That was our overnight stay for 2 nights now. And then we are up to 2,360 meters in January. It was a little frost during the night. It was a little cold during the night, and it was very damp. But I think we could really stand this because of the beauty around us. It was so beautiful. So it didn't really matter that it was cold, but we were freezing, I tell you. It was not so comfortable. We lived in or stayed in that kind of tents you see here. They are very firm tents. And what's so interesting really here is one bird, special bird. So now we are in search of a Bugun liucicla. And you can see here also how the wonderful landscape we have here around. So we went into this and trying to get to this Bugun liucicla bird, which is found. This is the only place in the whole world where you find this bird. And you can go to the next one. This is the bird we didn't see. This is the only archive picture I have. But it was seen in 1995 by a quite young student, and he made a drawing of it. And of course, they didn't know if it was a special new bird. But then in 2006, they tried again, and with nets, and they could get this bird. So they have only seen 14 individuals. Only 14 are reliably known. And this is the only place in the world that this bird exists. So it's really something. And it's on the critical endangered list, of course. And unfortunately, we did not find this rare bird, but if we go to the next, we had the honor to meet the man himself who saw this bird the first time and made a drawing. And this is Mr. Rama Tureya. It was very interesting to meet him because he's an astronomer, ecologist, or phonologist, and he is really interested in birding and the surroundings here. Yeah.
It's interesting that you're all bundled up and he's wearing flip-flops.
He's more acclimatized to the altitude.
I was
No
thinking of that
kidding.
too. You can see here he's barefooted, and we have so much warm clothes on, but he's there every day. He doesn't think it's cold.
T-shirt and flip-flops. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, it's quite funny. Okay, we go on.
The little story around that is that this bubunachikla is the only bird that was identified and given a name in the free independent India. So there hasn't been a new bird identified since 1947.
Well, I don't think we were expected to see it really, but it was nice to meet the man. But we did see a black eagle in this area, quite large one. And of course, this is on a distance, but you can see the form, and it was easy to identify. Next one.
Oops. Sorry.
And this little one is the bar-throated minla, or chestnut-tailed minla. And they were also many of them coming in. And it's a bird in the laughing thrush and babbler family, which surprises me, but it's really an active bird. We did see quite many of them, and they are quite nice and funny and colorful. It's about 14 centimeters. We can see some on the next slide too. Yeah. So I think there are some characters. Okay. This is a white-throated laughing thrush, and that is a little larger than, it's 28 centimeters. And it also have a lovely warm brown ochre-colored belly and a pure white throat. It is really white, as you can see. So it's also a nice color on this bird that easily can look like a tree or something, but we were lucky to see it. Okay. This is a green-tailed sunbird. This is a female. And the male is usually, when it comes to birds, is much more bright and colorful. And this is a resident also in Himalaya and northeast India. Quite small, only 11 centimeters. The beautiful Sebia we saw at some various places, but not very close, and it didn't really want to show off. But it's also resident here, and it has this silky blue-gray color, and it's dark around the eyes, so it's quite easy if you know what to look for to recognize it. And it's also about 20 centimeters, so it's not that small, quite a big bird, I would say. Beautiful Sebia. This one, you can't see it very close, but you can see the character of this yellow-rumped honeyguide. And I find it very interesting because they feed on wax, and then they perch on honeycombs. And if you look with the feet, they have two toes that goes forward and the other one back to just be, I think, safe when sitting on these kind of trees. And also, they are broad parasites, which means that they lay their eggs in other birds' nests. It's like our cuckoo is doing that. And I think I don't know who other birds do this, but this is the yellow-rumped honeyguide, and probably one of these broad parasites putting their eggs in other nests. So then they can fly around, not being very careful parents, I think. Okay. And here you can see day 5, we search for more birds, and you can see how it looks like around us. It's really very dense nature, and lots of it. Would be also be very interesting to go and look at what kind of trees and flowers are there. But now our mind was on birds. Okay, and we did see the Himalayan kutia, also quite small resident to Himalaya and Northeast Indian. And it's the name in Latin is both that it comes from Nepal, and kutia means that it derives from Nepal. So it has a name that in Latin that is double Nepal, Nepalensis. I think we have a couple more pictures of this one. Also very colorful and nice. The southern or the spotted nutcracker. It's quite a large corvid. It's about 30-35 centimeters. And they resident large numbers. And they often, like many of these kind of birds, they store their nuts for the winter, so they are thinking ahead somehow. We have a similar nutcracker in Sweden, and I think also in Spain, but this is the spotted or the southern nutcracker. And here we have another Juhina. Its roof is vented. So it's similar to the other Juhina we did see, but quite distinct in when you look at how the colors are, or how the colors come. But you have the white ring around the eye as well. Now, we might have some more pictures on it. I think on the next one, yeah, you can see it here. Also very active little bird, looking around and looked very curious in a way. Who are you? Why are you here? Okay, red legs also. This is the horse Trogon. It's a male. It's female is brownish, and this is also resident, and it's about 30 centimeters. So I think that includes, yeah, the tail, which is probably half of it. And then we have this little collared owlet, pygmy owl. It's about 17 centimeters only. And it was really very cute, just sitting there looking at us. Quite for a long, I remember it was a long time it was sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So we could take nice pictures of it.
Yeah, this was up in the Lama camp, right?
Yeah, we're still at Lama camp, yeah. Just outside in the morning, we could see that one. And here we can go on. And the streak, I don't know, streak or strike, streak, breasted skimmicher babbler. Also resident, and you can see it's eating from the berries around us, and it has one berry in the mouth here. And it's also quite colorful, and it has this specific beak.
That's an amazing picture with the
Yeah,
berry.
quite just going to eat that berry. That's quite nice. Okay. So then we left Lama camp, and we went then on the 17th to the Bongo camp. And then during that time, we passed the eagle nest, as we did see on the pictures before now. And we stayed at this camp 2 nights. And that was also on in tents. And these tents were a little more rough. But it was, I don't think it was so cold here, even if it was quite cold. But it was the same here. It was so nice. It was so beautiful around, so you didn't really think of if you were freezing. And we had some water bottles as well, which I think was very good to have during night. So we stayed here 2 nights, and we went birding around then. I think, yeah, you can see here sunrise and morning at the camp. So if you wake up and look out and it looks like this, of course it's nice. And this is a lunch break during the en route here. And we did look at what was growing and so on, and we see these wild figs along the road, so we had to look at that too. And we had lunch like this most of the days when we were looking for birds. So very, very nice. And here you can see our 2 drivers. We had 2 cars. So unfortunately, I don't have the name of them, but it's they were very, very, I think we felt very safe traveling with them because the roads were not very good at all the time. But I felt safe at least. Okay. And we did see a lot of signs of elephants during these days. And then one evening behind the camp, we did see this elephant. It's on a quite long distance, but it's we can really see that it is an elephant. This is a black-faced warbler, small, very small, 99 centimeters only. And this is found in these areas, northeast India and the countries around. A small, beautiful little bird. Orange-bellied leaf bird, very colorful as you see. You see the female to the right and below the male. And these are, yeah, they are native to central and eastern Himalaya and quite big, 20 centimeters more or less. Okay, and this is the fire-breasted flower pecker. A little difficult, I think, to get on the photos because it was moving around and very quick. But it's also very colorful and shining. Small one, also 9 centimeters, like our little gold crest. But we did see a few. And we did see a lot of fantastic flowers and trees and you can see here we walked on these hill paths, but then the cars came and took us further away, so we didn't really walk for a long time. But still, we did walk some kilometers every day, so that was very nice. Okay. Yeah, here is the gang. And you can also see to the right here, you see our local guide. And I unfortunately didn't get his name, but he was also very, very good and he could spot anything, I think. So these 2 guides together, they really helped us to see so many beautiful birds. Okay. Rusty-fronted bowwing, and this is also found here in Southeast Asia, from the Himalayas to the northeastern Myanmar, and it was also quite difficult to get hold of because of the colors. You can see it blends in very well in these surrounding. Okay. And this is another bulbul, and striated bulbul. And you don't see it all here, but you can see it has different colors from the black bulbul. It's a little spotted, really. So it was interesting to see this one. Okay. Scarlet finch is, I don't know, but I think of a cardinal when I see this. It's so red. And it has really a brilliant color. And it's male. And this is usually moves around in small flocks. And it's about 18 centimeters. So they are quite big. And this one is easy to see with that color. Okay. White-breasted parrotbill tried to hide a little, but it's still looking at us. And it's also known as the greater rufous-headed parrotbill. That's what I found in the book when I was looking for the right one. It didn't say white-breasted parrotbill, but that's on the list we have. White-breasted parrotbill. Also from these areas in the Himalaya, and comes in small flocks, about 18 centimeters. And now, day 7, we were then heading back to Guwahati. And it was also interesting, I think, for all of us to walk on the path where Dalai Lama walked when he was leaving Tibet in 1959. Still these paths, now I think we're a little better or bigger, but the same route. And here is, we are around a tree that was planted by Dalai Lama. So it's sort of sacred place. And it was still very, very beautiful areas. Yellow-bellied fantail. It's showing off a little here. Resident in the Himalayas. And a lively and active bird. So I think we were happy to get it. About 13 centimeters. It's like dancing here, I think. Okay. And here we have what I think can be a bronzed drongo. Or is it a black drongo? It could be bronze because it's very shiny on the upper part. So I'm not quite sure. But it's a drongo, yes. That I can be quite sure of. And probably, we did see bronze drongos, but of course, when looking at the pictures afterwards, it's sometimes difficult to see, was this the bronzed or is it the black one? So that is, if nobody else think it's another one, I think it's a bronze drongo. Okay. But this one is easier to recognize because it's a lesser racketed, racket-tailed drongo. And you can see the tail, that it has these long feathers, and they can be about 30, 40 centimeters. So it's, or even more. So this one is easy to recognize, this less racketed-tailed drongo. And here I have two, but I'm not sure what it is. I thought the first one was a white-brown shrike babbler, but then I don't think the feet and the bill is the same. And to the right, I'm not sure. So if you can identify these, you are welcome. We did see 201, so so it's not so easy sometimes. But this one, Jordan's Basa, we were really lucky to see this one, and it was on a distance. So it's amazing how clear these pictures are, actually, I must say, because it was far away and it's also very well camouflaged. And it's keeping mostly within cover. So I think we were lucky to see this one. Very special brown hawk.
Yeah, this was probably a good half a kilometer away, at least.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So you can see on to the left, it's really big. I mean, it's really clear. So you can see this crest. So it was actually the last day, but it became not the last day because we went on, but we returned to a hotel in Guwahati. And I think we were all very happy to get a nice shower, a very good hot dinner, and to have a rest in a proper bed. That was very, very nice. And the next day, a few of us, only Dr. Vijaya had to go on, but we had some time before our flight was going. So we added an extra day and went out to this wildlife sanctuary, Probitora, to see not only birds, but also some other animals. Well, we did see the sacred cows, but that we did see on many places. But this wild water buffalo, very impressive, very dangerous. So this is in a wildlife sanctuary, so it's wild, but we stayed safe. Okay, and we did see another one, which I think you, Krishna, were very eager to see. It was the Indian rhinoceros. And here is a cow with her calf. So I think, and then there came a few more before we left. They're also on the vulnerable red list. So there are not so many in the world, but it was nice to see them and quite close. And of course, we did see some more birds. This is a black kite. It's more of a gliding bird, and it's also talking a lot. So you hear something and look up, and then you can see this black kite. So quite a big, beautiful bird. We have it in Europe too, but we don't see it very often. And we did see the Asian openbill to the left here. Unfortunately, we don't see the bill because but it is open, and it's supposed to be good when it's handling the snails, that is their main prey. So it has a very, very special bill. It's open in the middle. And then we saw the great egret. Before we saw the little egret, and we also saw several other egrets, but this is the largest one. It's also very beautiful. And we saw the lesser adjutant. It's widespread. One of us is a stork, and they can look very different, these stork. But it's widespread here, and it's resident in the lowlands. And we did see, last but not least, I say, the greater adjutant. This bird I think it's so ugly, but it's also really sort of beautiful. There are only 3 breeding populations in the world, and one is here in Assam. And you can see the area where it's residing, where it's eating. And it's really big. There's this population here in Assam, and then it is other one in India, and the third one is in Cambodia. So there are only 3 places in the world you can see this. So we were lucky to see this, I think. But it's once you see it, it's not difficult because it's about 2.5 meter wingspan, and it's almost 1.5 meter high. So they are very big birds.
Is that a garbage dump or a mine or what is
Yes, it is. That is where they are, where they find their food. And so they were there together with, I think, some cows and also people working there to sort garbage out. And well, it was an interesting environment, I would say. And we can see it on the next picture as well, I think. Here, you see them closer. Here they go looking for food. I'm not sure what they eat, but anything. A very, very interesting bird. It looks very much like the marabou stork you can find in Africa, but this is a little bigger, and then with this thing on the belly. Very strange. So I think that was really the biggest bird we did see. And then this was the best mocktail ever. It was so nice. We had this very fresh fruit juice, and we had a wonderful lunch after that. And I think everybody was tired and happy to have seen all this. It was fantastic. So thank you very much for listening, and I'm sorry there was such a lot of technical troubles, but maybe we can take it off when you're doing the other presentation.
that? Was really wonderful. Eva, you and Bjorn have done a wonderful job on this. The photos are exquisite.
Thank you. Almost all the pictures are from Bjorn, but some, I think we had one from my mobile, and we had one from Vijaya, but otherwise all the pictures on the birds is from Bjorn.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a beautiful, beautiful presentation. And wonderful job by both of you in taking the pictures and assembling the whole thing, and also with the presentation with all the facts and things that you added in later on, Eva. Any questions, any discussions? Colin, you are one of the newer members that we don't recognize, and you seem to have a deep knowledge of some of these birdings. Can you unmute and talk to us a bit?
Oh, look, I only just recognised the drongo because I was in Sri Lanka a few months ago, and but certainly there's a lot of birds there that are quite similar, barbets and some of the others to birds in Sri Lanka. So that was quite interesting from my point of view.
Yeah, there are many birds that are the same in Sri Lanka. We went there afterwards. After this trip, we went to Sri Lanka. And there were so many birds, the same and also others. So it's, of course, it's difference in altitude, so that matters.
Yeah, I myself.
I'm not an expert on this, so I have, of course, I had to seek information, and I don't think you can find it, but I have written it. It's the birds in Indian subcontinent. One book I just had to look into. And of course, Wikipedia and eBird has a lot of information of each bird. So that is where I've got the information from.
Yeah. Nilotpal did a good job of logging all the birds on eBird, and he shared that link with us. And so that could be another source for trying to see what those UFOs are if you are interested. So if you know the date that the bird picture was taken, he classified it as different locations. So that may be a good place to go. So So Colin, we are a group of bird watchers, Rotarians, so we get together and we do a lot of different things. These bird talks are one of them, and then we also have talks right after. We have a walk right after the national convention,
Mm.
and so we do a few things like that. So if you're interested and if you're not already a member, you should consider joining. The website is ifbr.org. B as in boy, International Fellowship for Bird Watching Rotarians is the full name. And if we go to our website, you'll see how you might be able to join us and partake in some of the things that we do.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. And if I may, what is your birding experience? So you can share it with us. And we are anywhere from novice to experts on this, the whole spectrum of things. But we are all definitely birding enthusiasts. Anytime we hear a bird in the tree, we look up, and those are the things that we do. So if you could share a little bit of your background, that will also be wonderful.
Okay, well, I probably still class myself as a novice bird watcher, I guess. I've sort of been sort of into always been interested in birds, but only probably actively bird watching for the last few years. But and we just have a little bird watching group where I live, which is in Burrell, in New South Wales, in Australia, and which is sort of halfway between Brisbane and Sydney, but 3 or 4 hours inland, if that sort of helps sort of describe where that is. And our little group does, I suppose I run it, and we run sort of regular campouts and to areas around within, the last one actually was out in the desert country. It was about 16 hours drive or something from where we live. But and then that Sri Lankan trip was our first venture overseas, actually. So, but there was just 5 of us on that trip. So, so that was good. And yeah, so I'm certainly interested in some of the trips that that you guys do. I noticed an email recently about a Madagascar trip, and that would certainly interest me. But I'm just off, well, actually in about a week's time, off to South Africa, Uganda, and Kenya for about 6 weeks, and there'll be quite a bit of well, safaris and birding in that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. You said a lot of things in there that hurt our ears, and if I may speak on everybody's behalf, and sounds are like an interesting person to share information and experiences with. One of the things that hurt my ear was that we have a member from Uganda who's been asking us to set up a trip there. So if you're going to be there, let us know, and maybe perhaps we can put you in touch with him, and you can check it out and tell us what you feel. I'm sure that it's a good birding location, but there's also another human being, another person who's lived there and grown up there. So that might give you a local flair. That's one of the things that we do as part of IFBR. We're all pretty international on this. If I look around, there's me. My background is, of course, from India, but I've lived for 40 years in the United States. And so, and there's Judy, who lives in the United States, Eva, who goes between north and south of Europe, Eva and Bjorn. They go between Sweden and Spain, and of course travel around. Peter is from Holland. Sarah is from Virginia, I believe, and Madhu is from the Calcutta region in India. So we have, and there are other folks that are all over the place in different parts of the world. Don Draper, I don't know if you know him, as a Rotarian, who was also one of the founding members of this IFBR, maybe in 1992 or somewhere around there, is from Australia and from the Melbourne area. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in and say hello, talk to?
I just wanted to say Colin is an IFBR member.
Oh, he is indeed. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I think I owe a subscription currently. I'd made some inquiries about how I went about paying that, and someone's got back to me, so I must do that before I head off overseas.
Okay, anybody else have any other comments for today, or anything that you want to share, bring up?
Thank you, Krishna, for
Thank
having us.
you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
Thank you
you.
very much. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.